Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day or the start of a wonderful day and had a great weekend. Right now, I'm in Pensacola, Florida, and we are having some record low temperatures, okay? And one of the things that occurs with that is that there's a lot of people that are in situations that are not being able to experience heat. They might be homeless. They might be in a place where their power's shut off because, prices on everything and inflation is going sky high and whatnot, whatever the situation is. So I used to have a small grocery store, really my first entrepreneurial endeavor that was like, I don't know if you want to call it for real. And it was actually a store, brick and mortar, and never worked in retail before in my life, never worked in a grocery store in my life, and that's a whole nother story, okay? It was a not such great part of town, and a lot of homeless people would come in and shop with me. And there was one guy named Larry. Larry would come in and, you'd talk with Larry and whatnot, and a lot of times he was under the influence. He had been drinking a few beers, knocking them back and everything. And, so at first it was real easy to say, okay, well, Larry's got a drinking problem and that's why he's homeless. And so we talked and, over a course of months and everything like that, started developing a rapport. And I finally said, what's your story? What is your story? And so he said, I used to have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a hot tub on Scenic Highway. I was living the American dream. He said, had a great girl, this, that, and everything. Things were good. Had a good job. He said, unfortunately, I ended up losing the job. I don't know what the reason was, but he lost it. He said, and I went into a depression. And I really never got out of it. And the girlfriend ended up leaving me. And he said, when you see that commercial of them carrying the couch out with the person on the couch, that was me. I was that person. So have no idea anything about the rules of being homeless, the code that you live by on the street, but here I am. I'm homeless. And so the second night that I'm sleeping in the streets, I get robbed. They take my wallet. They get my driver's license. I never thought about when they were carrying me out on the couch that I need to grab my birth certificate. So now I'm in a situation where I can't get a job because I don't have a driver's license. I don't have a social security number that I can substantiate. And then I got a situation where, I don't have access to a birth certificate. So now anything that I do to make money to try to support myself has to come from somebody that's paying cash. And there's not a whole lot of cash paying jobs that you can work, day in, day out, 40 hours a week that are consistent. And I never really contemplated the perfect storm. But it's almost like Larry had that perfect storm. And the reason I say this is that with these record low temperatures that we've been experiencing, the church that I go to has opened up the sanctuary in a couple of the meeting rooms as a temporary homeless shelter so people can come in from the elements. And the thing about it is that I was talking to a person that was doing what we call intake. They were taking information about the person. And they told me, said, you would not believe how many people that are homeless and they actually have a job. But they were living paycheck to paycheck, and then something happens. And the thing about it is that what I want you to take away from this video is there's what we call the golden rule, and it's not the one you're thinking about. It's the other golden rule nobody talks about. And that is the one with the gold makes the rules. Some of y'all are going to say, well, he's arrogant, egotistical, and just because he's done, better than most, he can say that. That's not what I'm saying at all, okay? What I am saying is this, is that as long as you're in a situation where you don't have financial independence, or not so much as financial independence, but financial security, and what I mean by that is a minimum of 90 days worth of living expenses. If it costs you $5,000 a month to exist, you need $15,000 in the bank. And if you are eating out, buying new clothes, doing any type of improvements on your house, anything, you're a fool. If you don't have, at the very least, that $15,000, you don't want to put money away for retirement. I get it. Okay, it's hard. It's hard walking and figuring out where you're going to go on vacation because you've invested. Okay, it's hard figuring out which Harley you're going to buy. It's hard figuring out if you want to go get a new truck. These are hard things. Okay, but guess what? They only come from working 12 years every day. Okay. And making those decisions does not penalize me, as opposed to some people when they make those decisions, they didn't increase on, so they're going to decrease the money that they have, and so therefore they never make any investments to have a better way of life. And what I am saying is that as long as you are always in a position that somebody else has control of your life because of money, then you're never going to be financially independent. You'll never know that freedom that comes from, you know what, Mr. Landlord, great. I'm happy that you found a buyer for the house. I'll be out in 30 days, no problem. Come on, babe, let's find a new place. Oh, here's one. It's $3,500 to get moved in. Would you like check or cash? I have so many people that come to me and say, I make really great money. Can you work with me on the deposit? Well, if you're making great money, why do you need help on the deposit? And folks, if you think that $5,000 is a lot of money, you're mistaken. It's not. Now, if you don't have it, and you're not looking at other ways to make it and everything, I understand. It's a small fortune, okay? I've been that guy, and I looked at $5,000. I remember a time when all I could think of was, if I just make $10 an hour, my life is going to be so much better. It's going to totally change. All my problems are going to go away. They didn't. They did not go away until I changed the things that I was doing, okay? The thing about it is that as long as you're in a position that, if you 3 flat tires at one time, and I'll tell you it happens because I ran over a roofing truck, had a box of, we call them simplex nails. They got the big square head for putting felt paper down. Box of those fell on the road and I didn't see them, had 3 tires go flat at one time. There's some people that can't fade, $800 in tires in one day, they can't fade having to replace the alternator or going and buying a $200 car battery. And they have kids and they have obligations. And before you say it, I understand people want to say, well, because of the kids, I'm not able to put anything because of this. No. It's because of choices, okay? And the thing about it is that until you have that at minimum 90 days, best to have 6 months worth of expenses saved up, something is going to happen. It always does. And, I had one lady that she works at Navy Federal, makes good money, probably $70,000 to $100,000 a year. I don't have all the money. Can you work with me? No, I can't because we're already in a bad situation, right? If that's the way it starts out, and I've been landlording for 22 years, okay? If they ain't coming to you with all the money up front, it's a bad situation, all right? Now, take a deposit, don't sign no keys, don't hand over any keys, don't sign a lease with them, but let them lock the property in. Do that every day of the week, but make it non-refundable if they don't execute it on the certain day, okay? Here's the thing. Learn your money, okay? If you don't understand how money works, then you're always going to be behind. And the thing is I can't stress this enough to people because If you're in the United States, we're a capitalist country. Everything that you do requires money. If you're watching this video, somebody's had to pay for the phone, somebody's had to pay for the internet access. Even if you go to the public library where it's free, okay, the library's paying for the internet. Library paid for the computer, all right? Somebody has paid some money somewhere for you to watch this video, okay? Everything we do requires money. That's all there is to it. And, you know, and then some people are like, well, I'm just going to go to the woods and I'm going to live and I'm going to live off the land. Okay, well, great. Well, somebody's got to give you a ride. And if you're going to walk and you're going to wear shoes, somebody had to pay for the shoes. Somebody had to pay for the clothes, because I know you ain't walking butt naked all the way to the woods. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. We have to acknowledge that everything costs money. And how few people are informed of the thing that we touch every day. You need to educate yourself on it. You need to learn how to master it, because if you don't master your money, money will always be a master to you. And the thing is that you will always be at the mercy of either somebody or something happening, and it will totally disrupt your life. And especially if those of you that have kids, there's no excuse for it. You brought them into the world. They didn't ask, and, you know, they weren't like, you know, waiting in heaven and saying, hey, come on, you know, bring me in and everything. No, you know, you chose playtime. You brought a child into the world, and now you're making decisions that affects that child. You do not know what it looks like, unless you've done this yourself, the child's eyes when you're carrying their stuff out of the house and putting it on the street because their parents make bad decisions and you're having to evict them. It's a very traumatic experience. And I always tell people when I'm evicting them or when the eviction starts, whatever you do, have the kids gone. Do not have them there when the law enforcement shows up, because they come in like a SWAT team raid. Get out, get out. You know, they're not like, oh, Susie, you just take your time and everything, just pack a few things and you can go whenever you like. And it ain't like that, folks, okay? And you ain't paid rent, you stayed about 3 weeks and everything that you've gotten my money that I used to pay my bills and my employees, okay? So, no, I need you out. You got 5 minutes to get your stuff, and we're carrying stuff out and putting it on the street. So, my thing is to you today is, and what I hope from everybody is, regardless of where you're at, start putting money away. And this is only going to be money that if you have to go and pay for chemo or radiation, life-saving medication for somebody, otherwise you don't touch this money, okay? You do not. Even if it's $10 a week, you go and put $10 a week away, okay? At the end of the year, you'll have $520. It's a start. And then figure out how to increase that money. There's all kinds of things that people can do these days. Walmart grocery deliveries, DoorDash. I mean, you know, you get off at 5 o'clock, you might go, you know, make 1 or 2 deliveries, make you an extra $30, $40, whatever it is that they pay and everything. You do that a couple times a week and everything and make you an extra, you know, $500 a month. You know, that's a good chunk of change at the end of the year. That's $6,000. It's not impossible. I have yet to meet anybody that's in a position that I would trade places with that has worked only 40 hours a week. I just haven't found them. I'm not saying they don't exist, okay? I just have not found them. And the thing about it is that I've done real well working nights, working weekends, and working holidays. When I worked for other people, I always asked if there was overtime available. And if there was ever holidays that came available that I could work and get paid double or triple time, I always did it, you know. And probably in the last 12 years, I probably got 2 years that I worked every day doing something to make money. And what I find is that everybody wants a good life. Everybody wants to be financially secure. They don't want to have to worry, but they sure don't want to make any sacrifices. And whether you want to admit it or not, the cost to exist in this country with even a halfway decent lifestyle keeps going up. And if you don't figure out how to keep your income going up, you'll get left behind. All that's happening, folks, is there's a gap that's getting wider and wider. And, you know, there is no middle class. You got poor and you got wealthy. The choice is yours. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you need me, you want to talk to me, want a free phone call, send me an email, and I will give you a call, and you get 15 minutes of my time for free. And those of you that have taken me up on it, reached out and everything, I do appreciate it, because I get a tremendous amount from talking with you. And I love hearing about your successes and your failures as well, because I got plenty of those also. So have a very wonderful day.